A wise man once told me to kill a snake, you don't cut the head off of it because there are more snakes that will lurk in the grass. You burn the grass on where all the snakes live. You see, it's funny because I learned that at a very young age. But what they don't tell you, what they don't specify, is that sometimes the snakes will bite back over and over and over because you're trying to better yourself. Because you're still learning how to live your life. You're still learning the functionality of society. So let me take you through a detailed, semi-detailed, fully detailed history. You see, my mom and dad were never really in the picture. Instead, my role model didn't come in the form of a family member. It came in the form of God. If you're religious, that's good for you. I'm not. See, when you're raised by Mormons, when you get bullied, you're weak because you didn't stand up for yourself. If you watched or listened to anything specific, you were a sinner. If you were molested, it never happened. You see, my sister, I didn't let that shit brainwash me. I stayed a rebel. I stayed a ruffian. I stayed a troubadour. I stayed an anarchist. My sister was somehow brainwashed to believe that me and my mother and our family are less than perfect, or not good human beings. And that's all blame to Neil and Amy Sonnerholm. Rest in peace, Neil. Not really. Following that, I get involved. My first unofficial love, Jennifer Lennox. I thought just a first kiss counted as you were in love. I was wrong. And then my emotions for it, because I remember Halloween, when we were allowed to see each other at school. I would cry in my room, saying, I miss Jennifer. But then, I was a kid, hung up on emotion. Did I really miss her, or did I need her company? Did I need someone to be there for me because no one was there for me? Then I had my chance later in life in Reno and couldn't even do that right. When all I did was by any means necessary want something I lost. She still, and probably may never, understand that. Fast forward a little bit after that. My first crush, Bailey Peterson. Kaylee Schultz. Desiree Cook. The first three girls I eyed up in middle school. But they were beautiful, they were smart, they were the preppies, whatever case may call them, and I was a nobody. I was a skinny nobody. What possibly could I even have to remotely start to like them? I remember in class, the teacher would take cards and anonymously read them. There'd be a quote or a question, and I said I had a crush on Bailey Peterson. I was expecting an aww, like I've seen in previous people, or in previous classes when the kids do it. They'd be like, aww. Did I get an aww? Nope. They didn't know who wrote the card. But it's almost like instinctively life slapped me in the face with this, because there was a hush quiet and then laughter. Like someone else in a 6th grade class, 7th grade class, could like someone as high status as Bailey Peterson. I was embarrassed without being in the direct like zone of embarrassment. Fast forward later in life to when I moved to La Crosse, Central High School. I made a mistake with love, with Emily Ham. This bitch. It's the first time I knew that females could abuse males in relationships. Now, being as analytic and elusive as I am, especially back then, within the 3 months whatever months we're together. Over 100 slaps I've taken from her. Now, I was still a blue belt in jiu-jitsu at the time. You learn never to hit a woman. It wasn't self-defense. I had no reason to. But who would, if I'd be lying if I said I didn't have thoughts. But I took at least 20 slaps a day from her. Because of my humor. Because I say something stupid. Because guess what, bitch? That's my humor. But I realized she was with my cousin. They broke up. I was the new kid in school. I wanted purpose. I wanted a place. I wanted love. She just broke up. Because she's a conniving little bitch. Uses people like a leech, parasite, virus, whatever you may call her. And then I made a mistake. When I ended things, it hurt her heart, and now she's spiteful because I would be in a worse place if I stayed with her. There was no point. I wasn't gonna take her shit. But no, all her abuse will never be pointed out by her or her friends. Never. It's all the mean things I said. Especially when she had people do her dirty work to try to fight me. Because she couldn't handle the responsibility of the consequences on her own. Fast forward a little bit after that. I tried to get involved with Tatiana, and of course that wouldn't work out. Tatiana Zaripov, beautiful, Russian, senior, and I was a freshman. There was no way that would have worked out, especially legally in that case. But I tried too hard. We went to the homecoming dance. I wasn't thinking. I was blinded by what I needed, what I wanted, what I was missing in life. Grace Graff, Taylor Strugelmeyer, Carmen Gomez, so on and so forth. Elena Garber, Mislin Gonzalez, whatever her name may be. Fast forward over and over and over and over. Cassie Paul, keep fast forwarding. Talia Hansen, Talia K. Hansen. The one time I went to the psych unit, walked in, you had these people in the class in our purple scrubs, but one girl stood out. One. Now this time was at 16, 15, I was smart enough to know this is probably going to end bad, but fuck it, let's roll the dice on this. Black hair, slender, nice figure. Obviously out of her mind. But then I'm crazy. So I had to judge someone equally crazy. And this is before that good pussy equals crazy thing was even remotely relevant in my mind. We talked. I had my poems for psychotherapy class. We talked, chatted every time we had meals. She got discharged. Then I got discharged. Got put in a place called FCC, Family and Children's Center. Went 1 week, 2 weeks maybe. Then one day, get picked up from school. Miss Pregel, who's now feeds and has all my poems, probably not anymore, but took my poems. That two-faced bitch. Said, hey, we have a new person joining us today. I'm like, who? And they're like, someone from Viroqua. Or Westby. I'm like, Westby? Who would come from Westby? I'm like, boy or girl? She said girl. So that's why I put 2 and 2 together. Girl. From Westby. What's her name? Talia, maybe? I got 3 clues in my head. Put that together. I'm like, wait a minute. It can't be. There's no way it's her. There's no fucking way. Get to FCC. Sit down for group. Second van transportation comes in with the people from that's outside lacrosse. Walk to the door. There she is. Beautiful black hair, beautiful eyes, slender figure, wearing a style that kind of matches and resembles mine. Then we talked every day, group, figure out how crazy she was, her house life. Now, of course, like that, you're not supposed to date people, but who am I to follow rules, right? I'm an anarchist. Fuck the rules. We talked, added her on Facebook, whatnot. We had our issues. Planned her birthday. Planned a picnic. We had sex during that picnic. She left after we spent our time together for that day. On Sunday, went back to school Monday. FCC came, got picked up. No Talia. No Talia Tuesday. No Talia on Wednesday. She wasn't there. Then I trusted someone who apparently was supposed to be a role model, and me and Talia were dating. I got thrown out. She got thrown out. I may not have known love or anything, but I knew happiness then, and I was going to turn that into something. And we reconnected later when I was in Vegas through video call. Especially with her having a son and me wanting to be a parent. Step or not, I just call it parenting. I don't put labels on it. We talked. I flew all the way back to lacrosse, as I've done for many people, Elena, Mariah, etc., etc. Wants nothing to do with me. Then we see each other in Alaska with her new boyfriend, who obviously is a bad influence, and they didn't last. Called it. Seen it coming. I put myself in their family drama, put myself through trauma because I cared about her. Didn't give a fuck about Cody or Shane, even though I warned them and her. She's still. I put myself through trauma because I wanted to be with her again and be a parent to someone. But it's almost like the more people change, the more they stay the same. Because now I don't know where we stand universally. She talks shit about me behind my back, and I can't trust that she did or didn't. Fast forward after that. Came out to Oshkosh. Got with Jade Baker. Someone who I thought had their life together still went downhill. Realized that's not the life I needed. I was tired of being on the streets, tired of doing all this stuff because she couldn't put me under her same roof, overthrow her dictator mother, and we could have had our kingdom like we planned. So I left and went with Cryptic Lind. Now I lied about my origin story from the beginning. We had our problems because I had mental health issues, as she does too. But no, like I said, I'm the only one not allowed to react, but everyone else can have problems. I was destructive, all this stuff. I cheated, I lied, sure, I was flirtatious. But here's where the problem with her became her problem, and it didn't become my issue. She knew I was lying about my origin. Here's a little secret key. I could have, as crazy as it sounds, overnight switched to being faithful, switched to being honest. I could have fell in love with her instantly. But she kept playing on with the lie. She knew but didn't confront it head on. Maybe she was scared of how I'd react or whatnot, but that would mean she had fear in her body. I became a villain because she entertained my lie. That one simple thing could have saved us, she didn't do, and then instead of taking the blame for our downfall, or part blame, she pinned it all on me because I'm a sinner? Last I checked, we were talking. I said my intentions, which were true. She drove to pick me up. I did another thing. I said I should only want to spend the weekend. I should go back to the apartment. She rather have stayed. Yeah, I seduced her as a challenge, and that where our chemistry began. But what's even crazy is that I said I only want to stay the weekend. I should head back. But instead of that, we went and got the thing, and we lived together. Here's where she became a child and I became the adult. I made a decision to better myself, to think things through. And she didn't allow it. She played mental health hostage with it. If I would have just spent the night or the weekend, gone back as I planned to do, against my better judgment or for it, I could have figured out where my life could have taken a new path to. But alas, that did not happen. I left to Vegas. Yeah, I said I was going there, and I lied about it. But I was doing wrestling again out there. I was with family. All the shit. I kept lying that I missed my flight. But eventually I came back because I missed her. I wasted a trip from my family. I wasted so much on that trip to miss someone that is not only fucking temporary. All because she did not confront me that I was a liar. I could have told her who I really was if she confronted about it. Sure, it would have been chaotic, but all relationships go through hell. Real ones get through it. So if an asshole I am, she was not as real as she claimed to be either. Fast forward to that. Annalise Chapman, you know what you did. You're a leech, you're a succubus, you're a two-faced hypocrite who uses people, who tries to become a parent by any means necessary, who plays tit for tat. You can do it, everything to anyone, but when they do it back to you, you hate karma, you hate your receipt. You're now all methed up on drugs. Can't keep the same friends, leeching off guys on top of it, spreading your legs just as much as I spread my wisdom. Mentioning people's dead children, lying about a pregnancy, lying about a miscarriage, because you can't face the reality that you're a deadbeat mother who wouldn't be able to keep her kid if she tried. You're not stable. You can't even go back to your fucking family in Pennsylvania. You have to stay here around Mike, Kaya, Steven, Ron, or all your fucking doped up friends. Because you'd rather be a low life than have a life. Cressa Pascal. Someone who loved my mind but found out my mind is dark. Then they got mad when they saw what mental health is. Had me locked up. Claimed I don't really suffer from mental health. In that case, she has no mental health issues either, if we're being honest. She's just a liar. She's delusional, if we're pulling that card. And then now I'm with someone that makes my world what it never was. I have a kingdom. I am putting up with so much crazy shit because I love her. I'm doing things I would never do with anyone before in my life. I'm feeling things, saying things, reacting to things, opening up about things that no one else knows, not even my own family. So, instead of coming full circle, I went through a straight line and I found everything that I want. We're working through our shit. And all the mistakes I've made would have lost half the people I've been with. Hell, they have. But something about us both being crazy, insane, it works though. It's a crazy that blends. But we're toxic, yes. But if toxic equals all the love and happiness that I'm feeling, all the joy, the place in the world that I get, all the sacrifices I'm willing to make for her and everything we got going, then yeah, I want to be toxic, just as toxic as the water in Michigan or fucking Chernobyl. I want to be as toxic as radiation. If being toxic makes me this fucking happy, happier than I've ever been anywhere, in the least expected of situations, fuck it. Because one thing that's constant, I've always been something. Before I thought I was nobody, but I've always been something in my life. And now I'm everything in one and more, especially to someone who loves me and I love them. I still have fought the labels, fought the abuse, fought the pain, fought through the trauma, fought being homeless most of my life, survived school, survived fights, survived being mugged, survived exes, survived ex-friends, survived so much. I went from undesirable to undeniable. I used to be the savior of misbehavior. I used to be a daredevil. The daredevil. Then I became the enigma. Then I became the savior of misbehavior. Then I became the dark rose. Then I became the wild rose. Then I became the king of spades. Then I became the Las Vegas lunatic. Then the Sin City psycho. Then I became the troubadour. Then I became